How embarrassing. So I've been talking for the last few minutes completely mute, on mute. So that's very novice. So let's start over again. This will be another start over. So this is NSA 101, post-workshop recommendations. This is for the folks that attend a workshop or webinar and want to know what's next? What do I do? And for the people that are always asking for more and more and more. If you are feeling overwhelmed at this point, I want you to take a break, turn off this video, come back to it when you're ready, okay? This is if this is too advanced for you right now, stop and come back to it. This is for the folks that keep pushing for more information, trying to make everybody happy. So what's next? You attended a workshop or a webinar? Well, you need to practice. You can't attend one webinar or one workshop and expect to be an instant expert, okay? You're not going to master this in just one go around. Probably you won't master it in one go around. Maybe you will. I hope you do. But if not, what's next is practice, okay? Practice, practice, practice. Continue with the same sample refinance loan package that we used in the live workshop when you attended with me. Use that same loan package. Don't let it overwhelm you. Okay, you want to start by memorizing the critical loan documents first, and then continue expanding your loan document repertoire. So I'm going to switch over here. I'm going to switch screens for a second. So I think I'm going to hit New Share, and then we're going to go to. Give me just 1 second. Let's see. Give me a second. I'm trying to get to my website. Give me just 1 second, okay? So bear with me a moment, please. I'm going to pause sharing for a minute. I'm going to pause it. So give me just 1 second, okay? Give me one moment. So I thought I had my website already brought up, but I was wrong. So that's my blunder. I apologize. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, so we're on my website now. We should be looking at my website. So this is the welcome page. I'm going to the NSA 101 workshop website. Okay, this is the one we're focusing on. And so I'm just going to scroll down just as a refresher. So you're going to memorize the critical documents in a loan package. These are the first things you're going to memorize, okay? There's so many different types of loan documents. To get the ball rolling, to get you started, memorize these. Start with the ones that are in bold print: the closing disclosure, the note, the deed of trust or the mortgage, the first payment letter, the notice of right to cancel. Okay, memorize those first. And then the occupancy affidavit, the initial escrow account disclosure statement, and the uniform residential loan application. Memorize these first. Okay, and let me just do this. Let me go to Spotlight, and so there we go. There you should be able to see a little bit better. So sorry about that, the little arrows. So you want to memorize the critical loan documents first, right? That's where you're going to start. And now let me go back to the camera. Going back to the camera, give me 1 second. I know there's a little bit of a delay. When I switch from screen to screen. Okay, so you're starting out, you're memorizing the critical documents in a loan package first. Give me just 1 second. If you hear me pausing or hear the clicking, that's just me trying to do multiple things at once and not doing a very good job at that. So after you memorize the critical loan documents, memorize what to say about each of the loan documents and know what to look for, create a cheat sheet for yourself to carry with you, in case you need it. If you're at a loss with what to say, you can refer to that little cheat sheet that you created. And then write out your own scripts in your own words, including the signing appointment confirmation phone calls, okay? Practice what you're going to say to the borrowers when you call them to confirm the appointment. Practice. Do it when you're driving in the car, or practice with a loved one. Pretend your loved one is your signer, the people you're going to do the signing with. And even in practice, especially with a live person, even if it's a loved one, you'll find that you'll still have feelings of nervousness. You'll still have butterflies. You'll still fumble a little bit and get a little bit tongue-tied. But the more you do it, the more you practice, and the more you say the words out loud, the easier it becomes. Okay? So you want to practice that first phone call. Practice what you're going to say when you meet them for the first time. When you arrive at their house and you're getting your notary signing agent equipment out of your car and you walk up to your steps, imagine yourself doing all these things. Practice what you're going to say to them when you're meeting them for the first time. Okay? Practice the opening. What are you going to say when you sit down to the table with them? How are you going to do that introduction? How are you going to take control of the signing? Who's going to sit where, etc., and what's going to happen. Practice your closing speech. Okay, when it's all done and you're ready to leave, what do you say? How do you depart? You can't just pick up and leave and say, see ya. So practice making a positive impact to your borrowers, to your signers, when you're saying goodbye. Make it a positive experience for them, okay? So practice. You want to practice your presentation skills until you feel comfortable, until it feels natural, and just practice. And worst case scenario, if you've attended the workshop, you've attended my live workshop and you're stuck, hey, you know what, there's a backup. There's this SoundCloud file, right? There's this SoundCloud file. It's on my website too. There's a link. And in this document, if you're looking at this document online, which I have posted, these are live links. You could click on it. This SoundCloud file is me, 2 hours of free audio file of me going through that sample refinance loan package with John and Jane Signer. Okay, so there's a redo. There's a chance to redo without paying any more money. You've already paid for you've already paid the fee for your training workshop. This is a freebie. You can listen again. So after you've done practicing, or at the same time that you're practicing, ask yourself the question, are you prepared? Are you prepared to accept your first assignment? And number one on your list, and this is what I tell people when they leave the workshop, is number one on your list should be contacting your insurance company. Find out what you're covered for. Find out what you're not covered for. Are you covered to do notary signing agent work, or is it just basic notary public work? Because the two jobs are very different. They're very different, I assure you. So let your insurance company know you plan to be working as a notary signing agent, what day you plan to start, and ask them about their coverage options, okay? Your hiring company is going to expect you to carry errors and omissions insurance as a notary signing agent, okay? They're gonna have some requirements. Ensure that your background check is current, okay? You want to make sure your background check is current. You want to obtain a business license. Now this link here is for Washington State. Whatever state you're in, if you're a notary signing agent in Texas or in Florida or wherever, obviously you want to check out the business requirements, the laws and the rules and the business requirements for the state that you're in. Obviously you're not going to go to Department of Licensing for Washington and apply for a business website here in Washington, unless you reside in Washington, right? You only want to do it if you reside in Washington. Number 4, establish a business banking account. If you haven't already got one, you want to keep your personal finances separate from your business finances. So if you haven't gotten one already, get a business banking account. Get a lockable case to store your notary stamps, journal, spare ink, and extra certificates. Okay, a lockable case, and that's something that I highly, highly recommend. Get a waterproof legal size case to safely transport and carry your loan documents from your home office to the signing location. Purchase any necessary office equipment, okay, as well as pens, copy paper, shipping supplies for your notary signing agent business. Number 8, master your office equipment. Master your office equipment, especially your printer. Practice printing legal and letter-sized documents. Practice printing on the wrong size document. Practice printing a legal size document on letter-sized paper, so that you can recognize what it looks like, right? It should be really obvious. The font will be really, the text is going to be really ridiculously small. It's going to be oblong, and it's going to have wider than normal margins. Okay, so practice. You don't want to wait until you get your first assignment to troubleshoot your equipment, because that is going to be added stress for you and anxiety. You're already going to be nervous about your first assignment, so don't compound it by failing to troubleshoot your equipment ahead of time. That's my advice. What else to do? Start slow. Start slow, market yourself, keep reading, keep learning. In the very beginning, resolve to start slow. Commit yourself to only doing like one loan signing per day until you master the process. I promise you, it's going to be less stress and less anxiety, and you're going to be less likely to make mistakes. If you get too busy too fast, you're going to only reinforce bad habits, or you're going to reinforce mistakes. You want to promote yourself more. If you're not as busy as you want to be, say you've been taking it slow and easy, and now you're ready to pick up the pace. If you're not as busy as you want to be, then you need to up your game. You need to maybe list yourself on some more websites. For example, if you got certified as a notary signing agent through the NNA website, the National Notary Association website, for 1 year they give you a free profile, a free access to having a profile at signingagent.com. You first need to go to your National Notary Association website, log in, and then you need to update your profile. Make sure your profile is complete. Wherever you list yourself, on whatever website you list yourself, make sure it's a complete profile. And sometimes you'll see, profile is only 80% complete. Profile is only 60% complete. Well, I can promise you that it looks much better to your hiring companies, because remember, the hiring companies go to these websites to find this. And if they if it's a choice between picking a signing agent whose profile is only 50% complete and a profile, signing agent with a profile that is 100% complete, if you're the hiring company, which one are you going to lean toward? For me, I would lean toward the one that had the more complete profile. Someone that took the time to follow instructions to complete a profile. Okay, so these are a few websites. And if you're looking at this as a live document online, these are, you should be able to click on any of these and it'll take you right to it. And these are just a few: signingagent.com, signingorder.com, 123notary.com, notaryresume.com, notarycafe.com. These are just a few. There There are so many out there. If you feel it's necessary, get yourself some business cards and a business website. When you're first starting out, those are a nice to have, not a need to have. I think about a business website as, it's good credibility. My customers can look me up and know that I'm legit. They've got a fallback on. They know I'm not just some fly-by-night operation, maybe. But like I said in the beginning, that's a nice to have, not a need to have. At the very least, there's some free options, right? Create yourself your own free Facebook business page, right? They've got business listings on Facebook. Create one for yourself, for your business, so people know how to reach you. How do you want them to contact you? Do you want them to call you? Do you want them to email you? How do you want them to contact you? So that helps them to understand. Let them know what you do. What kind of signings do you do? What things don't you do, right? Get a free listing on Google Maps. So it used to be the phone book was the way to go, and now everybody just Googles it, right? They just open up a web browser and they just Google, they just use a search engine, not necessarily Google. There's so many search engines out there. Firefox, Chrome, whatever. They're going to look up. They're going to look you up. They're going to look for signing agents they'll list the area. And if you list yourselves on Google Maps, if you've got a Google Maps listing, and which is free, they're going to find you that much quicker. And so make sure on your listing you've got a way for people to contact you. At the very least, you want a phone number, right? Very least, you want a phone number. People, especially not knowing you, it helps them to be able to talk to you. Okay, so if you're just saying, "Oh, just email me," yeah, they might do it, but think how you would feel if you're calling somebody, you don't know them and you want to hire them. Wouldn't you rather talk to them on the phone? So on your Google Maps listing, on that free listing, make sure you include at least a phone number. Okay, include a picture if you want. Indicate what it is that you do and what you don't do. You don't necessarily have to list your prices there if you don't want to. You can let that be a case-by-case basis. Let them call you. You can figure out what the assignment is, and then you give them a quote. So don't box yourself in by listing flat rates online. Or at the very least, print a range of rates from this rate to this rate. That's what I do. It's what I recommend. Okay, so if you're in Washington, I urge you to sign up for the Washington Notary Listserv and check back at that Department of Licensing webpage for notaries often. They change it up a lot. They have good updates. Learn from each signing experience. Okay, when you're first starting out, it's going to be stressful. You may reach a point where you say, "Oh, why did I ever get started in this?" Because you might feel a little bit discouraged if you start making mistakes, or if it's a rough signing. I want you to you can learn from a good signing, but you can also learn from a bad signing. So take a look at what happened. Try to understand what happened, what went wrong, what worked, what didn't work, and what are you going to do differently next time? Okay. And then just, whatever the experience is, learn from it, move on. If it was a bad mistake, hey, I guess if it's bad enough, that's gonna stick in your mind, and you're not gonna make that same mistake again. And this is where not getting busy too quickly really comes into play. Start slow. It's my recommendation. Start slow. Make sure you've mastered the process, and then build on it, and then go from there. The very last thing I want to urge you to do is on this page, rather, seek annual notary training. Seek annual notary training. You have insurance, right? You have insurance to be a notary signing agent, and it is exercising reasonable and ordinary care to seek training. It is exercising reasonable and ordinary care to seek recurrent training as well, because we all need more training. All of us do. You can't approach this as like, well, I learned it once, I'm an expert, boom, I'm done with training. It doesn't work that way, because rules change, laws change, conditions change, okay? So be open to learning more. I attend the annual Notary Public training, just basic Notary Public training. I attend it every year. Okay, it's a good idea. It's a write-off. Training is a write-off. So let's turn the page over here. So some suggested notary signing agent equipment. Now, I had a conversation with a gentleman who was interested in becoming a notary signing agent, and he was frustrated. He was really frustrated. And he told me, he said, Carmen, from everything I see, it looks like I have to have a smartphone, and I don't have a smartphone. And I just feel like I'm being left behind, and I don't know if I could do this. If I have to have a smartphone, I don't know if I could do this. And so I reassured him, and I want if you're in that same boat, if you don't have a smartphone, this list suggested equipment did say computer and smartphone. Well, I've crossed it out and I wrote cell phone. So I need to go back and edit this probably. That's right, because you know what? I edited it on this piece of paper. I uploaded it to my website and it still says smartphone. But if you're watching this, I want you to know a cell phone is what you need. A smartphone is a nice to have. It is not a need to have. Okay, a smartphone is a nice to have, but not a need to have. As long as you have a cell phone and you've got reliable internet access and a computer and a professional email account, you're gold. You're gold. It doesn't have to be a smartphone. So as for me, I use a PC and I use an Android smartphone, a cell phone, because I prefer it. Maybe you want something else. Maybe you prefer something else. Use whatever equipment you need. Do the best with what you have until you can upgrade it. Or maybe you just want to stick with a flip phone all this, you're done. You want, my dad used a flip phone. My partner still uses a flip phone. Everybody's different. And there are successful signing agents out there that fall in that category where they don't, yes, they have internet access, but do they have a smartphone? No, because they prefer to use their cell phone. You get used to using a certain thing and you just like it. And so that's fine. So I tried to let this gentleman know that, hey, it's not a deal breaker. If you have a cell phone, that's all that matters. It doesn't have to be a smartphone. Now, let's talk about email addresses. You're going to be hired by signing companies, by lenders, by mortgage companies, right? It's a good idea for you to have a professional sounding email address, okay? Look at your email address right now. Does it sound professional? Does it sound professional? Would you hire you based on your email address? I'm going to use this as an example here. So think about the example. Okay, so Jane Smith at blah blah blah.com and J.R. Smith at blah blah blah.com versus burnout at blah blah blah.com, right? So which one sounds more professional? Which one would you hire? Based on email addresses, which would you hire? So if you've got an email that's like burnout at whatever.com, it's a little bit embarrassing for your lender to tell their borrower, well, I emailed your loan package to Carmen and her email address is burnout at blah, blah, blah.com. That's embarrassing and it's unprofessional. So let's grow up. Maybe that was fine when we were in high school, but we're grown-ups now and we can have a grown-up email address, a business sounding email address. Try to use your name, the same name that's on your notary stamp if it's not taken, or some version of it. Could be first and last name signing agent, or first last name NSA, or first initial last name NSA. Make it simple. You don't want it to be too complicated, because if you're going to make everybody type in 50 characters in order to get your correct email address, that's going to be a little bit of a hassle for them, and it's a lot of room for error. Lots of room for error if it's 50 characters to type in your email address. Okay, so try to use your name as it appears on your notary stamp if you can. You want to download and install the latest version of Adobe Acrobat Reader on all of your devices. You want to download and install the latest version of Adobe Acrobat Reader on all your devices. Okay? Do not try to open up documents using Google Chrome. If you try to do that and then you print from it, it's going to be a mess. So get in the habit of using Adobe Acrobat Reader. It's free. The reader is free. And you want to password protect your devices to prevent unauthorized access. That is exercising reasonable, ordinary and reasonable care to password protect your devices. Okay. Printers. Okay, number 2, printers. So I suggest a reliable laser printer with dual trays. It's just a suggestion. When I started out, I had a laser printer. No, I had let's see, what did I have? I had a regular printer, but I had only one tray. And it was a pain, and I had to switch it out, right? I had to switch out. And that's time consuming. So when you can, if that's the first thing you upgrade, do it. Get a reliable laser printer that allows you to print, the mixed size documents. I use a monochrome, which is just black and white, a Brother 6200 DWT. Well, there's a later model out now, but that's the model I bought when I started, and it was the latest and greatest, and it was good. And it works great. So I've got 2 large capacity trays that I can put over a ream of paper in. I keep replacement toners on hand, because the last thing you want to do is run out of ink when you are printing and you're midway through a loan package. Running out of ink is a huge pain, and it will cause you a great deal of stress. So I have some backup cartridges on hand. In my car, I carry an all-in-one scanner printer copier, and I do that for the signers who don't have access to a printer at their house. When I call to confirm the appointment, and I remind them that they need to have 2 forms of government issued ID, and we need photocopies front and back of their IDs. Sometimes they have a printer, it's a non-issue. Yep, of course, I could do that, no problem. If they don't have one, and if it's a couple days, if the signing is a couple days from now, I just say, hey, well, if you're out and about, if you're running errands, if you're going to the bank, ask the bank if they would mind printing photocopies front and back of the ID for you. Very often they're happy to do it for their customers, and it just takes one thing off the to-do list, and it shaves a few minutes off our signing time. When I get there, if it's already done ahead of time, it just saves them a few minutes. I'll be done that much quicker. If not, if the signer does not have any means of printing their ID, what I used to have to do is take a picture with my cell phone and then go home or go to an office supply store, print it out, and then put it in with the loan documents, which means I can't seal up the loan documents at the borrower's house. It means I've got to leave that envelope unsealed. I would have to print out their IDs and then include it with the loan package and then reseal it and then go from there. But now I carry with me in my car it's an all-in-one. It's a scanner laser printer. It's awesome. And I bought it used on Craigslist. Somebody was upgrading their equipment and they wanted to get rid of this one so they didn't clutter their home. I bought it for $20, and I thought, well, it's only $20. I wonder how good it's going to be. Well, this printer has been pretty awesome, and I have more than made back my $20 investment using it, just in the time that it has saved me. Because it always nagged me in the back of my mind. It worried me, even though when I took pictures of the borrower's IDs and I printed it out at home or at the office supply, of course I would delete it from my phone immediately. But still, it bugs me. That's it bugged me to have to do that. But if I'll do what I have to do. But now that I have my own portable printer, if the borrower can't do it on their own, I know that I could just, put it on my scanner, the glass, and I could just print a copy, and it's a non-issue. I don't have to store it in my phone and then print it later and then include it. I can print it right there and then put the printer back in my car and then continue with the loan signing. And then at the end of that loan signing, when all the paperwork is done, I can seal it up in front of the client. That's what I prefer. I want them to see that document or that loan package sealed up in the shipping envelope. Okay, so that's That's that. And so the next one, let's talk about a scanner. Scanner is going to be a need to have, unless you plan on only accepting assignments that don't require scan backs. Sometimes they slip it in on us. A scan back is where you've got to go through the loan signing. And then when you get home, you are expected to scan those signed loan documents, scan them, and then either upload it to the hiring company's website or email it to the hiring company. So I recommend a scanner that allows you to scan multiple pages at a time, like 10 or 15 pages at a time. You just put it in there and it automatically feeds. That's what I recommend. Now, if you've got a scanner and it's just a flatbed scanner, that'll work if that's the best you can do and you don't have the means of upgrading right now. Well, that's going to work. It'll work. It just means it's going to take you more time. It's going to take you more time to scan the letter and legal size documents. Well, first you want to make sure your scanner accommodates legal size documents. I think even the flatbed scanners, the glass ones, surely they must accommodate the legal size. But take a look. So it's not a deal breaker if your scanner is just put it on the glass and scan it one page at a time. Yikes. It's doable. It just means you're going to need to allow yourself more time to do it. All right. Cumbersome and time consuming, but doable. Okay, so you've got to make do with what you've got in the beginning, though. I understand. So number 4, a safe. A safe is something else I recommend. A locking safe, good size, big enough that it'll fit a legal size document, a legal size shipping envelope in, right? You want to do this so that you can store sensitive information and reduce and money. There's a $sign here. Just store sensitive information and $sign. So that means money, to reduce risk and liability, because as a signing agent, you never know when you're going to be responsible for safekeeping a $20,000 cashier's check. When you're instructed to collect cash to close at a loan signing, sometimes they instruct you not necessarily to collect cash. It's just a phrase, but cash to close in the form of a cashier's check or a money order. Not a money order, sorry, cashier's check. Very different from a money order. So you have to keep that safe, right? So if you're doing this during the day, during regular business hours, then it's a non-issue. You're going to complete that signing, attach that cashier's check to the front of the loan package, clip it together. You're going to put it in the shipping envelope, and then you're taking it right to the shipping company, UPS or FedEx. You're getting a drop receipt. So boom, it's a non-issue if it's during the day. But if the signing is happening at night after hours, right? At night after hours, or if it's on a Saturday, if you're doing this on Saturday night, FedEx and UPS are not open on Sunday, so that means you've got to safe keep it until Monday morning. So I urge you to have a safe so that you can exercise reasonable and ordinary care by putting it in a safe. You have to say, exercise reasonable care as a signing agent. Having a safe is part of that. Or if you've got, don't broadcast to your whole family that you've just collected a $20,000 cashier's check. Okay, be discreet. And then if you've got a locking desk, something that only you have access to, that you can lock, that'll suffice. But if you can, get a safe. It's just a smart idea. So that's my 2 cents. And when you drop it, especially if it's got a cashier's check, I take a picture of the cashier's check on the loan document. I take a picture of it, and then I'm eye contact with the borrower. You're watching me put this in here. I'm sealing it up. Okay, and then and then get the drop receipt, right? Get a drop receipt. Write the borrower's name on the drop receipt and maybe the hiring company, and take a picture of that to safekeep that as well. So the next one, number 5, a document shredder. I use a Royal 1630 MC, which stands for microped, I think. Just a shredder that I picked up at Costco. It was on sale. Actually, Costco doesn't have was on sale. It was just their great, awesome low price. So you're probably going to end up shredding quite a bit in the beginning. You're brand new to the notary signing agent business. You're going to shred a lot in the beginning. You may be shredding a lot in the beginning. I'm guessing you will, because we make more errors when we're new, until we get it down, until we understand what we're doing, until we master our printer and the print process and the settings. You're going to make mistakes. And so you can't just leave those mistakes lying around, right? That's private information. You're going to need to shred that right away. If you don't have a shredder, okay, fine. But just know you're going to have to safe keep that those documents that need shredding, safe keep it until you can get it to a secure company to do the shredding for you. And that means, like if you go to the office supply store, I think Office Depot does it, it's like $1 a pound or something like that. UPS does it, and I'm pretty sure it's $1 a pound. So free is better, not free. But if you have your own shredder, then you can just shred it on the spot. Otherwise, you're going to have to drive that, store your shreddable documents securely until you could take them to a secure company so that they can do the shredding for you. But then you have to pay for it. So that's a good idea to have a shredder. Some office supply suggestions. Now, this is just suggestions. Just keep in mind, these are suggestions. And this is based on me looking around my office to see what I have and what do I use every day. When I have a signing assignment, what products am I using practically every day? Number one, I'm using cases of paper. Right? You're going to need cases of paper, letter size and legal size. On a bad day, you're going to pay between $36 and $44 a case for letter size paper. On a bad day, you're going to pay $77, $78 a case for the legal size paper. Legal size paper is just more expensive. On a good day, you're going to find a sale like Office Depot or wherever, Office Max, Costco, whatever is your favorite office supply store. When paper goes on sale, buy the case and buy the 10-ring case. Make sure the advertisement isn't, if you're looking at a really fabulous price for a case of paper, make sure they're talking about a 10-ring case, because I've gotten duped by a low price at an advertisement, only to find out it was only 5 rings in that case. And it was just infuriating. It's like, why would I do that? Why would I buy a half a case for that price? Anyway, so make sure you're getting a full case. I buy them when they're on sale. I buy more than when I need. When I get them on sale for $28, $29 a case, that's pretty awesome. Costco's got a pretty good price for paper. If you're near a business Costco, yeah, their paper prices are good. And for legal size paper, just everyday prices at Costco, Business, I pay $44 a case, which is almost half. I mean, $44 versus $76. That's a pretty big difference. So anyways, when they're on sale, I buy them up. I buy several. I buy more than what I need. I never want to run out of paper. I never want to have to stop what I'm doing and then run to the office supply store and buy paper. Okay. Binder clips. So let's binder clips. And I just had a few here. So boom. Let's do this. And there's one more size. Here we go. We got small or super small, medium, and then the jumbo. I use 10 times more of the medium size clip than I do the jumbo. And not very often, but sometimes I need a small one like this, or like the tiny packages. If it's just a fix, I get called to do a fix or a loan modification, yeah, then I still use it. Do not use a rubber band to tie up your legal documents or your loan signing documents. Not for the customer, not for the signer, not the package that you leave behind for the signer, and certainly not for the package that you're mailing in, the completed executed loan package that you're mailing in to your hiring company. And do not hand it to them loosely. Do not put it in the shipping envelope loosely. Use a binder clip. And if your argument is like, well, I can't afford it. I can't afford to use these binder clips. I call rubbish on that, and I say that if that's legitimately your argument, I call rubbish, and I say, then you're not charging enough, right? This is an office supply that this is office stuff that you need to run your business as a signing agent. Use clips, do not use rubber bands, and for goodness sakes, do not hand it to them as a loose stack of paper. Do not put it in the shipping envelope as a loose stack of paper. So in case you can't tell, I'm really adamant about using, this exhibits professionalism, okay? Professionalism. If you're handing me a loan packet, my copy of the loan packet as a loose stack of documents, that does not exude much I don't have very much confidence in you. That happened to me. A loan signing agent came to my house to do a refi, and that's what just slopped it on the table, wrinkled and dumpy looking. It was very unprofessional. So use clips. Get a lot more of these medium-sized clips because the more packages are smaller than they are jumbo, and than they are the micro. Okay, so you're going to use a lot more of that medium size. All right, so now that I beat that dead horse. Ink pens. You are going to need black pens and blue pens, and you'll probably use a lot more blue pens. A lot more signings are required to be signed in blue ink compared to black ink. There are some, and then there are some assignments that they'll say it doesn't matter, use whatever you prefer. So whatever, if you use whatever you prefer in that case. But I use a lot more blue ink pens. I actually prefer signing in blue. I use black Sharpie pens as well. And I'm going to try and do a demo here. So when I sit down at the table with them, one of the things I do is, let's talk about the date and today's date. We need to make sure we're using, the full date. So it's, oops, I did it backwards here. MMDD year. Okay, so we want to compare that to this. Okay, and this is just a regular black pen. Oh, nice. So it's not even going to work for me. Super. Here we go. All right, I primed it. Which one's more visible? This one jumps out at me. This one, yeah, I could see it, but when you're with your borrower, you're trying to explain to them, okay, today's date. What I'll also do is I'll write down the county that I'm in. Okay, right now I'm in Thurston, so I'm going to write Thurston County. So this writing down of the county is for me to remind me, this is the county I'm in, this is where I'm doing the notarizations. And so regardless of what the loan documents say, that's the county I need to make sure I have on there when I do my notarizations. So I use a black Sharpie a lot, and it's for that reason. It's to put there as a reminder to the borrower, hey, let's be consistent when we write the date. Put it this way. Whatever. Okay, and then these are handy too. So Sharpies, highlighters. I use a highlighter a lot. Looking around my office, the repositionable Post-it note signature arrows. Piece of plastic there. So I want to show you. Take a look at these. So I really wasn't paying attention when I bought this pack of arrows because I avoid the sign here or the sign and date. Sometimes it'll say sign here, sometimes it says sign and date. I recommend avoiding those. I stick with just the signature arrows, the blank arrows now, because if you put a sign here, if at the bottom of the page there's a spot for the borrower to initial, and you only have these sign here stickers and you put it there, they're going to sign, even though it says initials, and you told them write your initials there. Well, they've got butterflies. This is a loan signing. It's a stressful time. And if they see the instruction to sign here, they're going to sign. So I just make it a rule to use the blank Post-it, the repositionable Post-it arrow notes, signature arrows rather. I get I go through Post-it notepads. I go through notepads. I have a stapler and staples, okay? I carry that with me in my notary case because when I'm doing just basic notarizations, if I've got to add an acknowledgement, I staple it. I staple it together. FedEx shipping envelopes and UPS shipping envelopes. So what you want to do is go to UPS.com, go to FedEx.com, create your business accounts there. They will provide you free shipping supplies, and UPS even gives you free shipping labels. So yes, you can buy shipping labels if you want, right? You can buy them, or you could let UPS provide them to you for free. Let them know that you're a notary signing agent and that, typically you receive a loan package and the shipping label, but what you need is the shipping envelope, right? So the other party's already paid for the shipping label through UPS or through FedEx, and you need their shipping envelopes, okay? You want to get mostly legal size envelopes. Very rarely will it be letter size. Very rarely will a loan package all be just letter size papers. Sometimes they are very infrequently. They rarely are, but periodically you get one. But 95% of the time, you are going to need the legal size envelope. And if it's a packet, if it's a loan package that's big, so big that it requires a jumbo size clip to hold it all together, well, then you're going to need a little bit bigger legal size envelope. Maybe you want to use a poly pack, okay? So I recommend going online, get your business account created through FedEx and UPS, get a variety of shipping envelopes, get the cardboard envelopes, get mostly legal size, get a few letter size, and then get those plastic or bubbly poly packs, right? The poly packs. It's free. Those are free. You want to clear packing tape to securely seal your loan documents, especially when you're using clips like this. It can put a strain on that envelope, and so what I do is I follow up and I just wrap it a little bit. I secure it with shipping tape, so I know that package not very pretty, but it's going to be in one piece when it arrives at its destination. So I carry that tape with me in my notary journal, or in my notary box rather, in my lockable case. So next one is lockable case for notary stamps, etc. Okay, you know that as a notary public you have to do that. So it doesn't change. As a notary signing agent, you still need to keep your stuff secure with you. A waterproof case to carry the loan documents. A waterproof case to carry the loan documents. That's, so you could transport it safely from your house, from your office to the signing location. Extra ink for your notary stamps. Okay, extra ink, you want to make sure those are inked. You do not want your certificate, your notarization to be rejected because your ink was too dry, because the imprint was too faint. And the other day I actually had to stop and re-ink my stamp because I noticed it was getting it was getting a little bit dry. And normally I would like to do that at home. I would like to do it at home because it's ink and it can get messy. And if I'm going to make a mess, I'd rather make a mess at my house than the signer's house. But I'd rather ink my stamp at the signer's house than risk having my imprint being too faint and having it be rejected. Okay. So I took the time the other day and just said, hey, if you don't mind, can I have a paper towel? Just, I'm going to re-ink my stamp here in a paper towel I just used, because sometimes when you go to put the lid back on, it just, there's a little bit of ink that stays behind on the tip. And I don't want to mess inside my notary box either. So carry extra ink with you. Keep your stamps inked up and so that it makes clear imprints. You want to carry extra notarial certificates with you too. You want to have them, but you also want to carry them with you. Now, as a notary signing agent, everything should already be included in that loan package, including the notarial certificates. They're supposed to be. Every now and then you'll find that there's a acknowledgement or there's a certificate missing. And so carry them with you, carry some spares with you as a precaution. You want extra toner cartridges for your printer? That's another office supply that we already talked about, extra toner cartridges. I buy them when they're on sale. I buy them before I need them, and I try to buy them on sale. A lanyard for your ID for easy access to show the signers. And that's a preference that I have because I don't want to have to dig in my pockets. I'm already carrying stuff, my arms are full. I don't want to have to dig in my purse to show them my ID, to get my ID out, or risk dropping it, right? So I wear my ID on a lanyard around my neck. So I'm not going to drop it. I can just pick it up, show it to them. It's just for easy access. And then the last thing, of course, is PPE: mask, gloves, hand sanitizer, Lysol spray, sanitizing wipes. You're going to want to use those things. You want to have those with you in your car, okay? That's you know. Welcome to 2020. This is 2020, 2021. I hope it's not 2022. I hope that's not a reality, 2 years from now, but that's currently the reality now. If you're a notary signing agent, you're going to be wearing masks and gloves to your loan signings. You may have to get creative and do loan signings out in the garage or on the porch, covered front porch, or covered porch, back porch or front porch. I've done both. But definitely a mask, definitely gloves. I wear black gloves. I wear black gloves because I just think they look a little bit more professional than the blue surgical gloves. But you use whatever you have, okay? Make do with what you have. I've got black gloves because that's what I had access to, and so that's what I have. And I like them. I feel like they blend in a little bit more than the blue surgical gloves or the clear ones. So that's it. These are suggestions. If you're feeling overwhelmed, please don't be. Please don't be. If we had to create a list of all the things that we had to do to get to where we are right now in life, it would be overwhelming and it would feel unsurmountable, unachievable. But you can do it. You can do this. You're going to create your own way of doing things. These videos that I'm creating, the training workshops that I have, this is for the brand new person. This is for the brand new notary signing agent. I would have traveled so far. I would have paid so much money to have somebody sit down and walk me through how to do this, but it didn't exist. I mean, there's lots of online classes you could take. I started doing the in-person notary workshops, and then COVID hit, and now we're kind of restricted on how many people can gather. So now I'm doing the webinar. But these webinars, the audio files that I create and the workshops, these are geared for new people. It's for the brand new notary signing agent who you've got your notary commission, you want to take loan signings, but you don't feel confident. You don't feel like you know enough. That's where I was. I got NNA certified, click, 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 boom, I'm certified as a notary signing agent. And I just felt like, there's so much missing. There's so much liability. Won't somebody please walk me through how to do this loan signing? And I even called to see if there was somebody who was willing to do that. And, the signing agents are all busy. It's a good business right now. It's a good business to have. We're considered essential workers. And so I don't work every day. I get to pick and choose my assignments. I work part-time. And even for a part-time gig, I'm doing really good. I'm happy. I'm happy to have the flexibility. I can spend as much time with my family as I want, and I can work the hours and the days that I want. And it's rewarding. It's really a rewarding job for me. I really like it. Okay, so this is, you've attended my workshop or a training webinar, and where to go from here. Here you go. You want to practice. You want to make sure you're prepared to accept your first assignment. You want to start slow. If you're not busy enough, then you up your game marketing yourself. List yourself in more places. Some suggested equipment, okay? You don't have to get all this at once. Get the most important things first. That printer is really important, right? Printer is important. Paper and toner is important. So start there. Black inks and binder clips, those are important, right? Some tape. If you don't have tape, I've been I was in a position where I was out of tape and I had to ask the signer, hey, do you have some masking tape that I can use, right? And if they did, I used it so that they could see that it had been done. It's not that I knew I could take it to a UPS store. I knew I could take it to a FedEx store or whatever and get extra tape added onto it. But I wanted them to see it, that it had been done before I left their home. I wanted them to feel secure. So, these are things that are, those are some key things that I would say. Now, all of this all at once, no, you don't need to do it. If you don't have the means to buying all this stuff to get yourself squared up and ready to go, I say do the best with what you've got, make the most of what you have, and then upgrade as you can, okay? And remember, a smartphone is a nice to have, not a need to have, okay? So if you've got a cell phone, if you've got a flip phone, you can still be a successful signing agent, okay? All right, that's my 2 cents. Let's see where we're at. Oh, 55 minutes, so that's not bad. I actually thought I'd gone over, so that's not bad. All right, so I do appreciate you watching. I do appreciate it. And if you have questions, let's just switch this over. I'm gonna show you where I'm going to, let's see, let's just go to my website again real quick. Bear with me a second. Where is my website? Is this it? Oh, that's not it. Oh, maybe this is it. Here we go. Hey, my website. There we go. So I'm screen sharing. So NSA 101 website, right? Okay, here it is up here. And then you go to the workshop, NSA 101 workshop. So carmenlane.com and then the NSA 101 workshop. I want you to, I'm going to scroll down. I want to show you that I've uploaded these things. This document that I just went over, the post workshop recommendations, it's all online. It's online now. I uploaded it. Here we go. This is it. So I'm going to click on it and ta-da, there it is. There it is. This is just what we went through. Okay. This is everything. These are, if you see it, it turns from the arrow to the finger to the pointy thing. That means it's an active link. Okay. So use what applies to you, what's going to be helpful, discard the rest. Obviously, if you're not in Washington State, you're not going to apply for a Washington State business license. You're going to apply for a business license in your state. Okay, so just common sense, folks. If I'm saying something to you that is really Washington specific, like this Washington listserv, sign up for the listserv for notaries in your state. That's what I mean, okay? I'll go to the next page here. So this one just takes you, I'm going to click on it. I'm going to click on it. It'll take you to a link, right? Ta-da! Oh, they're back ordered, so it looks like lots of people want it. But that's a pretty reasonable price, isn't it? That's a great price. And this is exactly what my printer looks like. And there's even more modern versions of that out here. There's a more current model. So all these things, all these suggested websites where you can go to get yourself listed. Some are paid, some are free. They're here. And these are just a few, mind you. These are just a few. Here you go. There's a link to the FedEx, where to sign up for FedEx. Here's a link to UPS, where to sign up, create a business account page. You can also just pick up the phone and call UPS. They'll help you. Call FedEx. Somebody will help you. Somebody from marketing, or not, from sales rather. They'll help you get set up. Or going to a local office supply store, your local UPS or your local FedEx. If it's a chain, not a chain, if it's a franchise, sorry, if it's a franchise, they may be a little bit stingy with sharing supplies, at UPS. But if it's a company store, then I've got a FedEx ship center just down the road from where I live. I can go there and I can get as many shipping supplies, as many envelopes as I need. They've got it. They provide it to me happily. Okay. All right. So I'm going to sign off now. Thank you very much for listening, for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon. Okay. You guys have a great night, great day, great week, whatever it may be when you're listening or when you're watching this. All right. Take care.